I'm crazy for thinking that Terence Crawford to win that fight. And my thing is like, okay, well, if you don't think that Terence Crawford can outbox Canelo Alvarez, you may have to check your eyes.
You're not watching.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit. Clean. Yeah. So really, that's the difference.
I would love to go against the winner of Canelo and Crawford. The only thing is that I don't wanna have that rivalry with Canelo because he was my idol.
So, but I think it's good. I think it makes the fight more enticing if people are thinking, a lot of people are thinking that Crawford can win. And don't get me wrong, Crawford can absolutely win the fight. I'm not saying he can't win the fight. But in terms of, you know, how I see it, it hasn't really changed my thoughts because I know better than to just trust that last thing I saw because there's a lot of confounding factors.
And Crawford's going to be a lot slower because of the weight also. Yeah. Once he does that, I think it'll be a sparring session for Canelo as it is in most of his last 4 or 5 fights. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems like it's a sparring session. He's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah. Andre Ward has shared a piece of advice for Terence Crawford ahead of his massive clash with Canelo Alvarez. And it's the kind of tip only a fighter of Ward's experience could give. Ward has been breaking down tape, looking closely at Canelo's habits, strengths, and patterns in the ring. From his perspective, Crawford's best chance is to study those details and find the right moments to capitalize. Ward has always been big on ring IQ, and in his eyes, Crawford can't just go in there trying to outmuscle Canelo. He has to outthink him, pick his shots, and make Canelo uncomfortable.
The game is different, man. It's a lot of strategy going on with guys not taking fights and why they not taking fights. I like the Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez fight. A lot of people say, you know.
So do I.
That I'm crazy for thinking that Terence Crawford to win that fight. And my thing is like, okay, well, if you don't think that Terence Crawford can outbox Canelo Alvarez, you may have to check your eyes.
You're not watching. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there's a reason why Canelo Alvarez ain't jumping at that fight. He fought Amir Khan, which was, I think, 2 weight classes lower than him. So the weight thing ain't that big.
The weight class. And he fought Charlo.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm missing with that. So that's a fight that I would really like to see. That's a dangerous fight.
That's the secret he believes could tilt things in Crawford's favor. Fight smart, stay disciplined, and force Canelo into situations where his usual strengths don't work as well. But Ward's advice is just one of many takes flying around right now. This fight has the boxing world buzzing, and everyone seems to have a different angle on who's going to come out on top.
So, but I think it's good. I think it makes the fight more enticing if people are thinking, a lot of people are thinking that Crawford can win. And don't get me wrong, Crawford can absolutely win the fight. I'm not saying he can't win the fight. But in terms of, you know, how I see it, it hasn't really changed my thoughts because I know better than to just trust that last thing I saw because there's a lot of confounding factors.
So, okay, so you feel Canelo is going to win the fight?
I leaned Canelo, yeah.
Yeah.
I always have. I've always leaned Canelo. Just it's the good big man versus the good small man.
Joining the buzz, Amir Khan, who has shared the ring with both men and knows their styles up close, has also given his take. From his own experience, he believes Canelo is actually easier to hit, while Crawford is a much tougher puzzle to solve. In Khan's eyes, that contrast could play a much bigger role in the fight than people might expect.
He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well. That he might do really well in there. So look,
You fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's way.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit. Clean. Yeah. So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Yeah. Because, and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, But why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world.
One interesting voice in the mix is from a former Gennady Golovkin opponent. Having been in the ring with a big puncher and technically sharp fighter before, Gabriel Rosado is siding with Canelo. His reasoning is driven from the analysis on how he sees Madrimov, the fighter Crawford beat earlier, as a sign of potential trouble. In his view, Crawford didn't look quite as dominant as some expected in that matchup, and if Madrimov's style caused him issues, Canelo's polished skill set could pose an even bigger challenge. He's basically saying if Crawford found it tough to figure Madrimov out at times, Canelo could be a whole different level of puzzle.
But Madrimov did give Crawford problems. I favor Canelo, not by a lot, but I do favor him. I just think that, you know, I think the Skull fight was just a bad style. And I think Canelo was like, why force the issue? You know what I mean? I'm up, this guy's running, I'm not gonna take a chance. So I think that it was that kind of fight for Canelo. But Madrimov did give Crawford problems, you know what I'm saying? And where I felt like, damn, at 54, he gave you problems. 68 is different.
Then there's Ilia Topuria, who's more known in MMA, but still throwing his voice into the conversation. He's already looking past the fight, saying he wants to face the winner of Canelo versus Crawford. It's a bold move, considering Topuria's not even in boxing, but it shows just how much crossover appeal this matchup has. People from outside the sport want a piece of whoever comes out victorious.
To the boxing.
But it seems
they
they're
did it with Conor. Why not
Yeah,
with me
I know.
to go to boxing? That's something that I want to do. Let's go Turkish. I don't know. I didn't thought about that. I would love to go against the winner of Canelo and Crawford. The only thing is that I don't wanna have that rivalry with Canelo because he was my idol.
Teddy Atlas, never one to shy away from giving a passionate opinion, has also broken down the fight. Atlas leans heavily on the stylistic matchup here. He points out that Canelo has the size, the body punching power, and the ability to fight at his own pace, tools that can frustrate smaller opponents. But he also gives Crawford credit for his adaptability, something he's shown time and again.
That is tremendous, and you can make arguments both sides. Well, Canelo's too big. He's too big, and you know, Crawford, as good as he is, he stepped up with Madrimov, and he struggled a little bit. You know, he won, but it was more competitive. We thought, well, we didn't understand how good Madrimov was because we underestimated him because he only had 10 pro fights, but he had 300 amateur fights. He was a good, solid fighter, right? And he's on this card, of course, but he was a good, solid fighter. We didn't understand that, so we started to knock down Crawford a little bit because our expectations were so high, and that's wrong. That's wrong. He won, he changed gears, he did what he had to do when he realized the level of this guy in front of him, and he got the win. But again, people are going to say Canelo's too big.
Atlas's read is that Crawford can adjust mid-fight better than almost anyone in the sport today, which means even if Canelo starts strong, things could shift later. Still, Atlas isn't just picking sides on emotion, he's mapping out scenarios. If Canelo can impose his physicality early and slow Crawford down, the Mexican star takes control. But if Crawford can stay elusive and keep changing looks, we could be in for a much closer fight than the size difference suggests.
You know, who has the advantage? I ain't going away. As big as the resume is for Canelo, and it's big, and it's tremendous, and it's strong. Everyone that he's fought, all the fighters. And Crawford's a little smaller, but he's fought good fights, but a little smaller. And he's won titles at different weight class. But I'm one of the people that thinks Crawford is very, very special. I'm not saying Canelo's not, but I think he's special in a different way, where he's got instincts that not everyone has. Yeah. That it's the timing, it's the instinctual things, the X factors, the intangibles that he has. And I think they're going to show themselves. I really do. And I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to see a smaller guy use those intangibles.
The undercard for this event has also seen some shakeups. Jarrell Miller was originally set for a battle of the big babies, but that fight has been scrapped. Instead, Miller is now facing someone nicknamed the Boogeyman Slayer. a name that pretty much sells itself. This switch-up is adding its own kind of intrigue, especially for fans who follow heavyweight storylines. It's not often that a major undercard fight changes this close to the date, so it's got people wondering if the new matchup might actually be more entertaining than the original. Canelo himself comes into this fight with plenty of confidence. He's fresh off a series of wins and has been showing the kind of form that makes him a nightmare for opponents. He's patient, picks his punches, and has that signature body attack that drains fighters as the rounds go on. For Canelo, this isn't just about defending his belts. It's about showing that even against a guy as slick and crafty as Crawford, he can dominate.
Now you're gonna be able to do about it come fight night.
I know Turkey is in your corner,
I promise
but look, it's
All
gonna
right.
be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
Crawford, on the other hand, is stepping into a new weight range for this bout. That alone has stirred a lot of conversation. Moving up means he's going to be dealing with someone naturally bigger, stronger, and more used to fighting at that weight. Crawford's whole career has been about defying odds and proving people wrong. From the way he switched between stances to the way he systematically broke down Errol Spence, Crawford's shown he's not just a physical talent, he's a strategist in there.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And you
I
know
fought everybody.
the last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me one
2002.
elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look,
It's gonna
you.
be me.
I don't
And
care
you
about
will-
nobody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Same shit everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
The size question is what a lot of experts keep circling back to. Some point out that history hasn't been kind to smaller men moving up against bigger elite fighters. It's not impossible, but it's rare. The physical gap is real. Canelo's used to taking punches from bigger men, while Crawford hasn't yet been tested by someone with that kind of natural power. This is where opinions really split. Some believe Crawford's speed, timing, and boxing brain will let him offset the size difference. Others think Canelo's strength and experience at the weight will simply be too much.
You have to understand, I fought both guys at the peak of their career, and so did Sean. Sean fought Crawford at the peak of his career. I just feel that, with power is something that's going to stay with a fighter. For example, with Canelo is a very strong fighter. But then again, don't get me wrong, where I think Crawford can bang as well. Crawford is a strong puncher. See, as he's adding weight on and he put that muscle on, he's become a stronger fighter. See, back in the day when we used to see Crawford fight a lightweight or featherweight, we didn't really give him that respect and the power because we didn't think we thought he's a good boxer, technical fighter. But then as he started putting weight on and went in the welterweight division, you can see he's carried that power with that weight and the muscle with that weight. So I see this fight,
The fight also has business implications. A win for Canelo solidifies his status as not just the face of boxing right now, but also as one of the most dominant champions across multiple divisions in modern history. For Crawford, a victory would launch him into a whole new stratosphere. A smaller man taking out a bigger, more established champion in one of the most high-profile fights of the year. It would be the kind of win that cements a legacy forever.
Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But that's why we have weight divisions. I think that Canelo has proven as he has risen in the weights. He's dealt with the best in his weight divisions that he's at now. He fought Bivol and Bivol couldn't hurt him. He fought my guy and my guy couldn't hurt him in 2 fights. The third fight I wouldn't even count as a fight. But to have a guy come up from 140 pounds in such a short period of time. I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up not only his strength but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But to do it in these 14, 15 months that he's done it in, it's gonna be difficult for him.
And then there's the unpredictability factor. As much as experts and fans try to break it down, fights like this can turn on one moment. A perfectly timed shot, a slip in concentration, or even a cut from a clash of heads. Both fighters are skilled enough to take advantage of any mistake. That's what makes this matchup so compelling. It's not just about who's better, it's about who can stay sharp from the first bell to the last.
I think that it's a tough fight at the first 3 or 4 rounds because of his speed, just like when we took Golovkin to fight Kell Brook. Kell Brook being a welterweight, was a little faster, quicker at the beginning. But once Canelo assimilates the speed and assimilates the movement, and Crawford's going to be a lot slower because of the weight also. Once he does that, I think it'll be a sparring session for Canelo, as it is in most of his last 4 or 5 fights. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems like it's a sparring session. He's doing whatever he wants.
As the date gets closer, the predictions will only get louder. Ward's careful breakdown, the former Golovkin opponent's warning about Madrimov, Atlas's passionate scenarios, Toporia's call out from another sport, and the shakeup on the undercard, all of it adds to the sense that this event is more than just one fight. It's a collision of styles, reputations, and ambitions.
I think Canelo has had more harder fights going up and down the weight divisions. I think he's been in more wars than Crawford. I think Crawford is the fresher fighter who's been in less wars but had as many hard fights, but in my opinion, not as hard as Canelo. So I just feel that Crawford has this fight in the bag, because I've sparred with him even after we fought each other, and when he puts on that weight, it's like he holds that weight so well, that muscle well, and it's not like he looks like when he walks around and he's weighing around like 170, 175, he's looking like a natural 175 guy.
When it's all said and done, one man will walk away with more than just a win. He'll walk away with a statement, a declaration that in this era, in this moment, he was the better fighter. Whether it's Canelo proving that size and skill together are unbeatable, or Crawford showing that brains, speed, and adaptability can overcome any physical gap, the result will echo through the sport for a long time. And if Ward's words mean anything, the deciding factor might not be power, or size, or even experience. It might be who fights smarter when it matters most. In a fight this big, every move counts, and one split-second decision could change everything. Now it's over to you. Drop your predictions in the comments, hit like, share this with your fight buddies, and don't forget to subscribe to Ring Rivalry for more big fight breakdowns.